You and I, as I understand it, listed as purveyors of misinformation.
Misinformation, yeah.
But by the way, first of all, they list me as a Republican in their little thing. How do they know? Did they look into it at all? Because I'm not. I've been a registered independent for going on 20 years.
Yeah, I've been a registered independent since about Clinton.
Okay, so how about them, purveyors of misinformation, just to start? And the crime that we committed was in my case, questioned. I want to get it right. Because first they say I was part of a Republican group that fed a misinformation loop about the Paul Pelosi attack. Then under my picture, it says, raised doubts that all facts were being disclosed.
No.
The horror. Then
you never did that with any other case, did you? You've never done that. Raised doubts.
Raised doubts about the details of the attack. Purveyor of misinformation. Disgusting. Can you believe these guys?
I am the same way. And I have I got on when I first heard it, the first thing I said was, if this is a Republican, Democrat, independent, psycho or a political psycho on any side, he needs to be found and arrested and pay the full penalty. So that's all that should be said. Now, when it comes to the facts, yeah, I've got a few questions. First of all, you said he was in his underpants. Then you said he wasn't in his underpants. I don't really care. I just would like to know it. I mean, once you would see these guys in their underpants, I don't think you could unsee it. So what happened there?
One reporter, one paper printed that and then corrected it. Keep going.
Fine. So, and that was corrected almost right away. Fine. But the other question that I have that I think is more important is who opened the door? In the affidavit, it says the door was opened and then they saw these two. Then NBC runs, and NBC, they don't like to get things wrong. This was for the Today Show. So the producers were all over this. And it said that Paul opened the door and then went back and didn't stay with the police or say he was in danger.
Did not rush to the police, but turned around and went back toward the attacker in their report that's now been, quote, expired.
Right. So, I mean, I think this is my take on this. This guy is a lunatic. He was a lunatic when he was on the left. He's a lunatic when he's supposedly on the right. He's a lunatic. That's why he did this, period. But there are some things like, for instance, I've never heard of this. And this is what I wanted to ask you about the Paul Pelosi thing. The Epic Times asked for a mugshot of the perpetrator. And the San Francisco police said, we don't own the copyright to that. Yeah. I've never, what? You don't own who does own the copyright of your police lineup photos?
I don't know the answer.
Dorothea Lange, is she taking all of your photos?
Annie Leibovitz is back there.
What is that all about? It's just the little things that bother me. Yes, and I'd never heard of that. Too. Had you ever heard of that?
No, I have never heard of that. That's a new one to me. The San Francisco police have behaved in a way that's raised a lot of questions for me, which is what I am guilty of doing, apparently, just raising questions about their story, which has been inconsistent and incomplete. And I would like more facts, which is the natural response of any honest journalist.
Well, all you have to do is release the videotape. See, here's the problem. There may not be anything wrong with this story. Okay? May not be anything wrong with this story. But because people feel things are being hidden and you're not allowed to question, that's when conspiracies start. And it's natural. And when I was on the air talking about this story, I've been on the air saying it's most likely what was stated. However, there's these things that bother me. So let's watch what happens. Let's wait for the chest camera off of the police officer. It's not going to come out right away. It'd be a couple of weeks maybe, but it'll come out. But if it doesn't come out, that makes me wonder why.
It makes you miss Florida's sunshine laws where you get everything. In states that don't have that, especially when you're used to getting it. But San Francisco's got a unique problem because they put out information that they then changed. And so their obligation to be full and transparent about why things are changing is greater. Once you've misled us, then you really need to come out and say, this is how I got it wrong. Why did you say there was a third person who opened the door and then changed it to Paul Pelosi? Like, why wouldn't you submit? Why don't we get to see the body cam? Like, what is the reason for, especially now that we know Paul Pelosi, the victim, was not in underwear or anything like that, as that one erroneous report suggested. Why is it bad to show us the videotape of the crime so that we can see exactly what this man did?
I mean, you would think that it would make things worse. But again, it's like January 6th. I think those guys who were kicking down the doors, breaking windows, saying, where's Pelosi? I want all those people to go to jail. That's fine. They should pay the appropriate price, whatever the law is. They should pay that. But show me the rest of the videotape. Why won't you release the rest of the videotape? There may be no reason whatsoever. I really think this is what happened. I was not a birther. I believe that Barack Obama was born in Hawaii. So I was never a birther. But I used to say, guys, if I'm Barack Obama and I want you to look crazy, I'm not releasing my birth certificate because you'll just keep going down this trail, because everybody would say, if there was nothing to hide, why wouldn't he release it? Because I'm enjoying you guys looking like idiots. That's why. It helps me that you look like an idiot. And that may just be the only reason. They need and want conspiracies. But at the same time, they're giving us all the conspiracies.
Since when does the New York Times trust the cops? Since when?
Never.
So, please give me a break, right? Like, their reportorial instincts have always been to question the police's story, especially when there might be a whiff that the police have blown it. Except in this case, because they're worried somehow that's going to appease people on the right who question the Paul Pelosi attack. Whether it does or it doesn't is beyond the point. You as a news organization should be more curious. And let me give you this one, Glenn. Nancy Pelosi gave an interview to Anderson Cooper about her husband, Paul Pelosi, and the attack on him. And my heart goes out to Nancy Pelosi.
It does.
I felt for her when she talked about how she felt guilty because the attack was meant for her. And her husband, took the brunt of it, took the entire thing. I mean, sure, that would be horrible for any loving spouse. But then she, too, tied it to Jan 6th. Here it is.
President Biden drew a line between what happened on January 6th and the attack on your husband. The president said, I quote, "The assailant entered the home asking, 'Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?' Those were the very same words used by the mob when they stormed the United States Capitol on January 6th.
That's right.
Do you draw that same line?
Absolutely. There's no question. It's the same thing. And copycat or whatever it happens to be, inflamed by the same misrepresentation. But the fact is, right now, it's time for healing. We want the country to heal. This is not a path that we can continue on.
Terrifying.
Really?
This is truly terrifying when you have the DOJ so corrupt and so in your pocket, and you have changed language and meanings of words. You start going down this. Let me just ask you, if we really believe the other side, that every voter on the other side is not just a menace, but a danger to us, our family, and everything we believe in, can we go back and live door to door next to each other? Not without some re-education or some eliminations, I would contest. This is so dangerous, what is happening. We have to come back and appeal to each other on the things that brought us here and together in the first place. The Bill of Rights. Do you believe in the individual? And that's what, we complain all the time about people who don't take their jobs in Washington seriously. Today, it's our job to go in and vote and change the way this country, or encourage it to keep going if that's the way people want to do it. But it's your job to vote.
I don't know about you, but I have never been able to compost before. Didn't understand it. Didn't know why you do it. Just always seemed too complicated and too much work. Wrong. Enter Lomi into my life and yours. Lomi allows you to turn your food scraps into dirt with the push of a button. It's fun. Lomi's fun. It's like a game in your kitchen that's actually good for the environment. Lomi is a countertop electric composter that turns scraps into dirt in under 4 hours. There's no smell when it runs. It's super quiet. And thanks to Lomi, now I have way less garbage every week. Instead, I turn that waste into nutrient-rich dirt that I can then feed to my plants. I'm like, it's amazing what I'm doing for the environment now. I'm composting, I'm creating soil instead of waste. Come along on this journey with me. I have a basically limitless supply of dirt now from my budding garden. And if you would like to start making a positive environmental impact like me and having a little fun with your food waste, your kids are going to love it too. Or if you just want to make cleanup after dinner that much easier, Lomi is perfect for you. Join me. Let's do it together. Head to lomi.com/MK. lomi.com/MK. Use the promo code MK and that will give you $50 off your Lomi. That's $50 off at lomi.com/MK. Use that promo code MK at checkout. Food waste is disgusting. Lomi is your solution. Holidays are just around the corner. Lomi will make the perfect, fun gift for someone on your shopping list you have no idea what to buy for, right? There are those people. Lomi.com/MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.